This is your city. This is your city wants to know. We want to know the background, the heartbeat of what makes up our beautiful cities. We dig into the backstories, from the struggles to the successes of our local entrepreneurs, small business owners, artists, not-for-profit organizations, and the many, many people who make up the intricate tapestry of our communities. Real people, real stories, by you and for you. But wait, that's not it. I love giving my opinion. Just ask anyone who knows me. We can't get enough of the honest, gritty feedback of places that we spend our hard-earned money. I'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly of the places I eat, sleep, and visit. Disclaimer, my opinion only. All right, so come on, let's get to it. We all know that social media is important. It's extremely important in getting recognized for, well, anything, but especially for your business or if you're trying to get your brand recognized. If you're not on social media, you're probably doing things the hard way. And now with this COVID-19 thing, it's really forced people to think outside of the box, and they have to adapt if they want to get their business to succeed on social media in today's new norm. Hello, and thank you for tuning in once again. If you don't know, I'm Kim Wardell, your host for This Is Your City. And today, my guest is going to discuss the process of growing your social media through the footprint by reaching out to people online, reaching out to new people online. We're going to discuss how to build relationships, the danger of your comfort zone, and he's going to give us 3 social media tips that he says, if we master these 3 things, we'll change our engagement overnight. That's a big promise. I'm keeping him to it. We have with us tonight the creator of Live Masters TV. The creator of Live Masters TV, Mike Chavez. Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you. It's
awesome.
I'm really excited to be here on your podcast today.
I'm excited that you agreed to be on my podcast today.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
You're in Nevada? Are you?
Yeah, Las Vegas. Las Vegas.
We're having a heat wave here. Like, it's been a couple weeks. And though I love the heat, we just need some rain. You guys understand that.
Well, yeah, it's a desert here, but we have an oasis. We have a pool, so it's not too bad.
Oh, that's nice. I have a hose with a faucet. But anyway, Mike, I have so much to talk about in such a short time. So I want to get right into it. You have a social media presence and a following most of us wish we can obtain. And what you're going to kind of help us do today is that exact thing. Because it's not impossible, and with guidance, sometimes we just need a little bit of guidance to show us how to do it. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of everywhere. And that's how we met and how we've stayed connected, right? Goal, connecting with people, building relationships. So let's start there. Tell our listeners about your presence on Facebook right now.
Well, I go live on my personal page every day. I've gone live on that page today would be 1,243 days in a row. I've gone live on that day since January 30th of 2017.
Every single day?
Every single day. And then also about 2 years ago, I started a free Facebook community called Live Masters, where I help people that watch my videos on my personal page, if they want to start doing videos or they're not confident or they aren't comfortable doing them on their personal page publicly, they can do them in a closed group. And I give them question prompts and stuff like that. So I started a community a couple of years ago, just doing videos every day. I'll get more into my story as we go along.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I love your tag, feel alive, going alive.
Right. I had never really created anything, and I created the logo. I created the name of the group. There's a story behind that too. I mean, so a few years ago, I was in a position where I got hurt and I couldn't work, and I was at home, and I had a Facebook account, and I had a Facebook account like a lot of people, just to, stay connected to family and friends, actual people that you know. So right. This is dating back, I think 11 years ago when I first started my Facebook my Facebook account. And it's funny, you could go and see who your first Facebook friend was, and it was my mom. All right. So that goes to show you why I started my Facebook account. And so I started it. And then, like I said, I got hurt and I couldn't work. And at the time, my wife and I were involved in a company that we were trying to promote. I saw that people were doing business online and they were promoting things online. And I told my wife, I says, well, I think this is definitely a way for us to do it, because I wasn't able to leave the house because I was injured and I couldn't work. So I basically got in about 200 or 300 Facebook groups, close to 300 Facebook groups at the time, because somebody had told me that's what you need to do to network and connect with people and build a business online, is get in as many groups as you can and just basically spam your information across all these different platforms. And that's what I did, because I didn't know any better, and it just didn't work. So what ended up happening is because I got in so many groups, I found a group that got started about 6 or 7 months after Facebook Live videos had even come out. And when I got in there, they were talking a bunch of trash, and they were talking down about people that were spamming and basically doing what I was doing in these groups.
And you're like, uh-oh.
I got blocked. I even had to send a copy of my driver's license to Facebook to prove that I was a real person, because they thought I was like just probably some spam robot from another third world country or something, right? So I had to prove my identity. And then so I got in this group, and they were basically talking about the core principles of what I'm doing now on a daily basis, which is showing up authentically online, doing videos, sharing your thoughts, your ideas, and attracting the right kind of people that like what you're doing, and then repelling obviously the kind of people that aren't into what you're doing. So I started doing the videos every day, or I had an original challenge that was for 90 days. And I was the only one that finished that challenge. And I just have not stopped. So over the last few years, it's enabled me to meet the most amazing people around the world, literally around the world. And I've had opportunity now because of the network that I built over the last few years to actually take care of my family and build a business that I've always wanted to build.
Give me the number again of how many straight days.
1,243 in a row. And a lot of those days are multiple days, because Monday through Friday for the last 2.5 years, I also do another video. So a question of the day. So a lot of those days there's multiple videos, then podcasts and interviews and other videos. And, I'm on lots of people's platforms, and that's the secret to all this too, is just to get on as many people's platforms as possible. And that's why I think it's an honor to be on this podcast with you.
Oh, thank you. That's that question of the day we're going to get into in a little bit, because I want to talk about that.
Okay.
But as the opening stated, you had a few things. So building relationships. Obviously, you're on a lot of platforms. You do a lot of podcasts. You're just everywhere on social media. You're building amazing relationships. People are learning from you, going on to do their own branding of their business, or themselves, like maybe themselves are the brand. Is that part of that whole thing?
Yeah. Originally when I started doing all this, I had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I had never even done a video. I didn't know anything about branding. I didn't know anything about social media marketing or, networking like this. I really did not know how to do any of this stuff. And it's simply because I've been consistent and showing up every day. And I think, people fail to realize if you show up and you do a video every day consistently over an extended period of time, the personal growth is not just from doing the video. It's from the connections and the relationships and the people that you meet. And then once you meet the people, meeting new people is the spice of life. It truly is. You're only going to learn and expand and grow your mind if you are going to meet people that know the things that you don't know. Right. And so I hadn't paid for a mentor, and I didn't have coaches, and I didn't have programs, and I didn't have all these courses and stuff that are freely available in a lot of challenges now. And I bring that up as an example too, because I'm the kind of guy that would get in, like, for example, these, like, Tony Robbins has done some challenges lately, and Pete Vargas has done some challenges, and they've been amazing, phenomenal, world-class speakers and
Yes.
leaders coming in there and providing great value, and then they're giving you homework and worksheets, and that's all free.
Yes.
And I'm the kind of guy that will go into a challenge like that and get more value out of that free information than people that'll go spend $10,000-$20,000 on some of the packages that they never even opened in the email that they got. So it's, we live in a information, or in a world of, there's information everywhere.
That's right.
There's no more excuses.
Bombards you.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just have to focus in on somebody that resonates with you and learn as much as you can from that person until you outgrow that person and go find someone else to learn from.
That's true. I've said this many times, and I'm sure people will hear me say it many more times. If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, go to another room. Exactly.
Because if you're the smartest person, how are you growing and learning? So you have to grow and learn every day, right? So find those people. Yeah.
But, and I also never say no to an opportunity to speak anywhere on any platform. In the business that I have, the business that I have, my part of the business, there's almost 800 people in my business. And then the part of the team that I'm in, the bigger team, there's almost 4,000 people in there. And so we have up to 9 hours a week of live mentorship weekly training calls on these calls. And they're constantly asking people to come and teach and train on these calls. And I'm always saying, me, even though I do these videos every day, even though I speak every day, it's just a repetition. And repetition is the mother of all mastery. You just got to do it over and over and over.
That's right. That's right. Well, that brings me to the next thing, the danger of your comfort zone. You were talking about. This video thing is not easy for some people to do. Public speaking, as we all know, is the number one fear in the world, I believe. So speak to us about that.
I don't know. I mean, to me, it's, I was at a point in my life when I started this video journey where I had to make a decision. I mean, I was a middle-aged guy, had to take care of 3 young children. I didn't know how I was going to do it. Right? You get to a point in life where the pain of not knowing how uncomfortable something might be, right? That pain of not knowing what it's going to be like, it has to be, you have to be able to just grow through that, right? You have to know, like, what other choice do you have? Like, what else are you going to, that's what I said to myself. Like I'm scratching my head right now. Like, what else am I going to do? I had a lot of limiting beliefs in the beginning of this that I had to work through. A lot of limiting beliefs that I had to work through in the beginning, just like a lot of people, I still, there's still certain things that I struggle with as far as limiting beliefs go, but my confidence and belief in myself has gone through the roof from doing the videos every day.
Absolutely.
It's the most growth I've ever had in anything I've ever done. And that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this and having other people do it too, because it's just one thing that you can do that's actionable, right? It's like you could learn how to shoot free throws. How are you gonna learn how to shoot free throws? You can't watch a video.
You gotta do them.
You gotta go do them. It's the same thing with the video. It's the same thing with speaking. It's the same thing with anything.
That's
the best teacher in life is experience.
That's true. That's good. I watch some of your videos, your live videos, when you have interviews with other people, and you talk about this challenge, how it started, and your confidence, getting out of your comfort zone. And in some of these free courses that are online, and I think you and I have attended 1 or 2 of the same ones from some of the best people in the industry. Tony Robbins, we've been coached by Tony Robbins, and they say the same thing. Just do it. Just you're going to suck at it the first few times. Some people say it a little bit differently, but some of the coaches have said that. You're going to suck you may suck. You're probably going to suck at the first. But if you never step out and do it and stay in that little comfort zone, you're never going to expand. And you've been doing this since 2017. It just blows my mind every time I hear it.
Well, it's true. I forgot what the name of the book is about the 10,000 hour rule or whatever it is. But, I could literally just have somebody give me a topic and just, all right, give me a couple seconds, just go. I don't write things down. I don't do notes anymore. I used to write out my videos and do all that, but I I've kind of just figured it out how just to do it, let it flow. I speak a lot from the heart. People ask me, how do you come up with your content? That's a very common question that I get. It's something different every day. And my philosophy is you should be reading at least 10 pages of a personal development book every day, or watching a good 20, 30 minutes of something on YouTube to learn something new every day.
Right.
So if you're not doing that, then you need to do that. And then you need to go teach what you learned.
Right.
Whatever that is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be something that you learned, but it could be a life lesson. Something that happened with your kids. Maybe your kids taught you a lesson about being persistent and keeping asking. Like, little kids are the best salespeople in the world because they don't take no for an answer, right?
Right.
So I'm very spontaneous with all of my content. It's
authentic.
It's like, you have to trust your gut. That's another thing that I'll share, is not, like you were saying, not everything is going to be a hit. I can literally say I've done thousands of videos, and hundreds of them are probably something I'm not proud of, but there's a few good ones in there,
Yeah. What about the trusting of your gut? You said we'll talk about it. Go ahead, talk about it.
Well, that trusting your gut and speaking what's on your mind, especially on social media, because if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. And I think people respect you more when you take a stance, regardless if they believe in what you believe, or they're going to respect you for just believing what you believe in.
Right.
So you got to trust your gut and respect other people as much, just respect other people. And I think it's up at the intent too, right? So if you're showing up with the intent to add value and to truly ask questions, that's really what I like to do, is just ask intriguing questions.
Yeah.
Because you can make posts on your Facebook wall with questions to learn so much about your friends before you even talk to them.
It's true.
You can learn the way people think. You go to my wall, and you've seen some of my posts that are pretty engaging, and you see, and I think that the goal of social media is not for me to connect with you, but that's the first step. But then also for you to connect with the other people that are engaged with my content.
Yes.
So when you can get other people talking to each other in comments on stuff that you're posting, oh man, you're really engaging, and you're engaging people together, which is really cool.
And that's a really big thing, getting people to engage on your content, and then those people engage with each other.
Mm-hmm.
They either agree with what you said or have a comment about what you said, and they start a dialogue among themselves, and then they grow. They go to each other's pages, they listen to each other's podcasts. It just grows and grows. It's all about the people, and if you put the people first and you are transparent, they're gonna grow and come. Right. And they're gonna come to hear what you have to say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you have to be very proactive. That's probably one of the three things, one of the three tips that you wanted me to mention. I would say the secret to getting engagement is you have to engage with others first. You have to make other people feel special. You have to go out of your way to talk to the people that you want to talk to. You could be very selective. It's not that I judge. I've just learned that there's certain types of people that I want to start building relationships. It's easier for me to build certain relationships with certain types of people. It is what it is. And I go and I engage with those kind of people first. I seek to understand them before they understand me. And then they go look at my page after I've engaged on some of their stuff, and they see what I'm doing, and they're like, oh my gosh, what's this guy's deal?
Right. So. Well, don't stop there. Let's get into that then. The 30 tips that you say.
Okay. Yeah. So the first one is just be authentic on social media and show up and be yourself. If you don't have it figured out, don't try to have it figured out. Stay in your lane. Just talk about the things that you're passionate about. And the more I wouldn't say comfortable, but the more confident that you are in what it is that you're talking about, the better, the more comfortable you're going to look on camera.
And they're going to be comfortable with you because.
Right. Yeah, it makes people feel uncomfortable when they know you're uncomfortable, especially if they're listening to you. It really makes people feel uncomfortable. So I would say the biggest thing is just authenticity. Show up and be yourself, because let's face it, we're all adults, and we're all professional BS detectors. I mean,
that's true.
Right? I mean, you show up in a way that's not authentic. It's not sustainable.
Right. That's good.
Temporary. It's very temporary and very
So what's
fleeting.
another tip? What's the other tip?
Another tip is to stay consistent. I think that's probably like the biggest thing for me, that, you know, I don't have anything super special inside of me that nobody else has. I've just done something consistently every day that everybody else could do. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. People, I get sarcastic sometimes when people start saying, well, how do I do a video? I go, you go into Facebook, you open up the app, and you click the live button, and you hit the blue go live, and you're live. That's it. It's that simple.
It didn't cost you anything.
No, it doesn't cost you anything. Consistency, though, because I think that's one of the big ones. You got to stay consistent. People need to see that you're going to be around. They also need to see that your messaging is consistent, that you're not wavering, that you're not, you know, hot on one thing today, another thing tomorrow. You're not talking about politics one day, talking about this politician, and then the next day you're talking about another politician. Like, that stuff happens. Like, you can't do that kind of stuff. You have to stay consistently authentic, right?
And if you're not consistent, I would think, I know for me personally, I get on fire for something sometimes, and if I'm not consistent and I don't follow through, I start to wane on it, and then it's like, oh, another day goes by and another day goes by, and you really are, you know, you're well-intentioned, but it slips from you. So if you make that a point to be consistent, authentically consistent, you know.
Well, you have to know why you're doing it, though. Like, why?
Why?
Because, you know, why are you doing it to begin with?
Right.
There has to be a reason big enough to bigger than your excuses that are going to come up. Because there's just so many. I've had legitimate reasons why I could have just said, you know what, I'm not going to be able to go live today.
Yes.
I've been live in Italy, France, England, Mexico, you know, all over California, Arizona, just like everywhere I've traveled over the last few years. I've made it happen somehow.
Yeah.
The Bahamas, like, it's just been amazing, and it's cool. Like, well, so back to consistency, though. It's all about consistency. People respect it. They're just like, wow, you know. What's
the third tip?
Authentic, consistency, and let me think here. I'm going to make this authentic. So we'll come back to the third. We'll do the third one at the end. That would be like a bonus. We'll come up with a bonus one. Yeah, but you got to be authentic. You got to be consistent. And I don't know. I think you just got to be the kind of person that other people, you just want to be the kind of person that you would want to watch yourself.
Right.
You know, like, why would somebody watch you? Why would somebody listen to what you have to say?
They have to connect. They
have to resonate. You have to be relatable. Don't worry. I would say, you don't, my last one, I would say this one, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. So
that's good.
You know, you're not going to, it's just not, you're not going to kill it in the beginning. Yeah. Some people, here's the thing. Some people, though, like you, I'll use you as an example. You're very articulate. You're very intelligent, and all of the personal development and all of the corporate skills and all of this applied knowledge that you've learned over the years is very transferable into your podcast and your videos. So for somebody like you, it's just a matter of being consistent.
Right.
And showing up, and just a few little tweaks, you know, here and there about how you title your videos. But other than that, that's it.
Well, you got to talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's one thing too. If you're doing videos, I would definitely tell everybody to make sure you put a nice description of what your video is about, because 80% of the people that are going to watch your videos are going to watch them on the replay, right? So as they're scrolling through, you're going to want something that's going to stop them from scrolling and read real quick, and then encourage them to click on your video.
I don't think I put any titles, do I? I just talk.
That's why I coughed when I said that. I'm very observant. I know what's going on. Yeah. So listen, like I said that. And also, when you start your videos, to another thing too, is start right away exactly what it is that you're going to be talking about in your video, because people don't want to sit there and wait. Like I said, 80% of the people that are going to be watching your videos are going to be watching them on the replay. So
right. And I do it on my podcast, but I don't do it on my live videos.
Same thing. It's the same thing.
Why don't I? That's really good, Mike. Thank you.
Well, your intro on your podcast, your intro on your podcast is amazing. See, if you do an intro like that on your videos, that's going to give Facebook a couple seconds to start sending out notifications instead of just, you know.
Well, here you go, folks, listeners. There's a tip number 1 right there. When you go live, you're doing your live videos, make sure the title displays what you're doing, make it very clear so people don't have to guess.
Right.
That's very good. Thank you. We just learned something today.
Yeah, I'll teach you a few more things.
You have so much to teach me.
I do. I love doing this. Like I said, you know, all this pretty much is self-taught. I mean, I wouldn't say self-taught. I had to go and learn it, right? Yes. And apply it, and that's why I say you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.
You
Just
made
go
those
out there,
steps.
trust your gut, be consistent, see what works for you. You're gonna know what feels right, and you're gonna know from the feedback that you're getting too, right? So yeah, there's a lot to it too about, you know, you got to know how to build your audience too, you know, and that goes back to going out and finding the kind of people that you want to engage with and you want to talk to, and you start that in process first, you know, then they're going to be curious about you, right?
Mike, would you think many things that I've learned was, you know, get that email list going, get those contacts, and it's very stressful, and sometimes that process kind of makes people stop because it's so hard to get the contacts. Some people, you know, they just have a lot of contacts. If you're like me, you have really none to start with. To build that up, that content of going on other people's, learning, getting relationships through all of this stuff like what you do, that's building your Rolodex. I'm going to use Rolodex. That sounds old, but it's building that list.
Yeah, there's different levels of all of this social media list building and all that stuff. So, you know, for basically what I've done is 100% organic on my personal page, right?
Yes.
And if you wanted to build a list, you could still build a list that way. You know, but however, like if you have a group, for example, and one of the questions is what's your best email to stay in contact with you outside of Facebook, right? Then you could build your email list organically from people that are knowing you. You get their email, you can do that. If you want to really, really scale up anything that you're doing on social media, then you're going to have a budget. And because if you do it on the other pages, the paid pages, the business pages, you got to have a budget. You got to know what you're doing, all that. Right. So for me, I've created so much organic traffic just on my personal page. I literally have more people to connect with and talk to than I could physically do in a day. So, I would strongly suggest that if somebody's really serious about building their brand and building their list and doing everything online, start on your personal page. If you don't have an established brand yet, build that first before you go in and start investing tons of money into ads and all this other stuff that you're going to need, a website, all that other stuff. Because mind you, when I started, I knew nothing about nothing, and I had no money. And now I have a website and the whole 9 yards. So,
but I want to. You've made this into a living, though.
Yeah.
So that's what's important, and I really want to express how important. Like, he's not just somebody, you know, speaking off the top of his head and who does live videos every single day. You know, yes, it came to him because he got injured at work. You know, unfortunately, but fortunately, what came out of that, you actually make a living out of doing what you're passionate about now. You've learned over the years, you've taken all of those steps, you've got out of your comfort zone, you've been authentic, you've been consistent, and now you're making a living at doing what we want to do.
Right.
All of us want to do this, but some of us.
Yeah, it's I would say what I've always wanted to do, and and it's fine. It's finally happening. You know, so the first 2 years though of me doing the videos, I wasn't making any money. I wasn't able to support my family. I was still trying to figure out how to monetize what I was doing, even though I had people literally asking me to coach them, right? But I still had a problem because I was trying to figure out, I didn't know how much to charge people. I had never written courses. I'd never done a curriculum. I'd never done any of this stuff before, right? And so I just had a really hard time doing all that. And so I just never did it. And then in December 2018, somebody that I did meet through doing the videos introduced me to somebody that became my mentor, and then I started building a business that it really doesn't have anything to do with the videos, but because of the videos,
Right.
I'm able to network and meet people and get to know people authentically. And I know how to do business the right way now. So I basically do, like I said, I basically do videos, and I connect with people. And if they resonate with me, then we have conversations. I get to know them, and they kind of want to see what I'm doing besides videos. And then at that point, if they're open, I share.
Well, and we're going to get into that. So I want to get in, before we get into, I want to talk about your website. I want to talk about livemasterstv.com. I want to talk about things, but I want to know about the question of the day. So you talked about it at the very beginning that you have a private side of the web, of the videos or something?
Yeah, it's just a closed group on Facebook.
Closed group, okay.
Yeah, and so Monday through Friday, I ask a question of the day. They're just, like I said, they're business development and personal development questions. Just random questions, like, gosh, there's hundreds of them in there that I've done. Yeah, so, and they're really just conversation starters to give people ideas for videos, because one of the common things people are saying is, oh, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to talk about. I'm like, okay. And
so
then
this helps them.
Right. So then the original group that I was in, where they did that original video challenge, they did the same thing. So I didn't reinvent the wheel. I just did what was working before, and I just carried it on, and now I'm the only one that's doing it.
So you didn't reinvent the wheel. That brings me saying things that just, brings me to other things that you've said in the past and some of your videos. You did not reinvent the wheel, but you said something on one of your videos that stuck with me. Nothing is new under the sun. Yeah. For you.
Except you. I made that up. I made that saying up. Yeah. It's true, because the reason I made that up is because a lot of people were having and myself included, was having a hard time thinking that I had to be a certain way, or I had to be somebody. I had this imposter syndrome, right? How could I go on and do videos and talk about all this stuff? And
when so many other people are doing it too, and what would
that? But and I wasn't having success. I wasn't making money. I'm like, how could I do this? I felt like a fake, a fraud, right?
Yeah.
And so then I just thought about that. It doesn't matter, because there's nothing. Everything's been done and said or whatever, but it hasn't been done and said by you. So there's nothing new under the sun but you, right?
Right. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So I know you are. He's so cute. I see a little girl walking in the background there. She's like, Daddy. See, that's the thing with today. Everything's live. Everything's on Zoom. Everything's on all things. Dogs bark, sirens go off in the background, kids come in. Don't worry about it. I'm always just making sure I look over my shoulder sometimes to make sure everybody's coming down decent. Right. But I want to go to your website, livemasterstv.com.
Okay, cool.
Okay. You developed a brand, you developed your brand.
Uh-huh.
So many cool things on there. I was going through your website, the editor studio, how you can help build other people's brands for them. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Yeah. So one of my friends, Michael Scott Hunt, he's one that's built that website from the ground up, and we've just put lots of different features in there. We wanted a place for people to go, and there's a free video challenge on there. You can go register for, and then there's another free course that's on there you can go check out. There's also an app suite where you can go in and purchase certain types of apps for video editing, so on and so forth. So the whole idea behind the website was to eventually, help entrepreneurs and business owners with their videos and do their editing and all that, so they can actually end up doing little 1 minute, 2 minute videos. Maybe they might be able to run for ads, or they can just share with people, with the graphics, the intros, the outros, and all that.
Yeah, you have dozens of videos. You have like cartoon animation, slideshows, high definition effects. You have tons of things on there.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff on there that I can do. Also, we sell URLs, websites, domains, all that good stuff too. So
that's perfect. Logos for different companies. You can help them with that. You have one that I saw with running water, or a glass pouring up the water with the logo that comes with it.
Yeah, you can.
And it's inexpensive, that what you're offering, what you're doing to help people grow their business, grow their brand. You're really offering a great service, because.
Well, that's that. I wanted to, I was in a position where I didn't I couldn't afford any of the stuff that I can give away for free now to people, right?
Right.
I just want to give back as much as I possible. You know, I really embrace the concept. If you can help as many people get what they want, you'll never ever have to worry about any things that you want in life.
That's right.
And I'm blessed, maybe not financially like I should be right now, but I don't look at it like that because I'm blessed in so many other ways. You know, I share that, you know, I have a roof over my head. I have clothes on my back. I have food in my tummy and people around me that love me. Like, oh, I don't really need much more than that.
Prosperity is not just financial, and I think people get stuck on that.
Right.
If prosperity to you is only financial, you're missing everything in between.
100%. And so for me, relationships to me are the true currency in the world because without them, you're broke.
That's right.
100%.
Vargas and all of those leaders out there, they say the same thing. And, you know, yeah, they all say the same thing. And what you just said about at one time you started out, you didn't have the money, and now you can help people who don't have the money. So you're in that position, you're giving back, and it can help them be better people. And I wish we had time. I'm going to say it. It doesn't matter how much time. I'm going to do it. So there was this video that I saw, and it was a farmer, and it's a true story. He grew the best corn. His crops were the best crops. I don't know if you've ever seen this. His crops were the best crops in the state. And so he was giving away his seeds free to other farmers. And somebody came up, they were doing a thing on him and said, why would you do that? Like, you've got the best. Why would you let others have the best? You're losing your spot in the market. And he says, one thing you got to understand is if my neighbor farmers plant seed that is unhealthy or sick or not up to par, when the wind comes to pollinate, that seed is going to be blown into my crops, and then none of us will prosper. So if I want to prosper, I have to help others prosper. And that's beautiful. And that's kind of like what you're doing. Yeah. Kind of exactly what you're doing.
Yeah. I just know that we live in a world of abundance, and I don't worry for things, you know, because the things are just temporary in life. So
it's true.
Yeah.
Tell us, we've kind of got into a few of it throughout this whole conversation, but for entrepreneurs out there, people thinking of starting an online business or a brand, we've talked about what you do and how you've done it. Just before we go, tell us about some of this, you know, advice. Not, okay, make sure it's consistent, but personal things, don't worry, it's going to happen. What advice would you give somebody, like, don't give up? Or
I would say that all the cliches, all the quotes that you hear, they're all true.
They're all true.
It's all true. Is corny as it sounds. Don't be afraid to dream big. Don't be embarrassed to share your dreams with other people. Don't be afraid to use your imagination like you did when you were a kid. I remember when I was a kid, I was a rabid Dodger fan. I used to listen to the Dodgers. I used to go to the ball games. I used to know every player. I knew their number. I knew the lineup. I knew the position. I had my favorite players. And I remember as a kid, when I used to go play Little League, you know, I remember I would step into the plate and I would close my eyes and I would picture myself being Pedro Guerrero or Steve Garvey, and I would step out and I would, like, I heard what they heard on the TV. I didn't hear what was really going on. I heard really what was going on in the crowd on TV, not at the game that I was playing. And I got my bat and I hit my cleats and I knocked the dirt off and I practiced my swing just like they did. And I dreamed.
That's right.
So that's my thing. Start dreaming and imagining the way that all those things that you've ever wanted to do, go do them.
And then make your dream into a vision, right?
Make it crystal clear, and don't get to the end of your life, like, seriously, with the regret of what the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Don't shit all over yourself, because it's not pretty, right? It just isn't. Because true to thyself be known. I think we really know deep down inside. I was told a long time ago by my grandpa when I was a kid that there's only two people that you can't lie to. That's yourself and God. And we get really, really, really good sometimes at lying to ourselves.
Oh, it's so true.
Don't lie to yourselves and don't cheat yourselves out of your dreams. Don't be afraid to dream big. And then if you think you're dreaming big, that's your first mistake, because you're not dreaming big enough. You got to, as soon as you start thinking you're dreaming big, you got to start dreaming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Good advice. Good advice. So what's next for you? What's next, Mike? Like, got all these projects on the go. What's next?
Well, really what's next for me is just continue building the business that I'm building.
Which is what? Talk about it you got a short little window here. Talk about your business that you're building.
Okay. So basically, the business that we did, that we're doing it's a DNA lifestyle company. Basically, we're the only company in the world right now that has the ability to figure out what sort of genetic defects you may have inherited from your parents, and then provide a customized nutritional supplement to help fortify some of those defects that you might have. Also, some other reports, DNA sports and fitness and skincare, so on and so forth. So just really taking the guesswork out of what people are putting in their bodies and helping people really figure out their health. So it's really helped me. That's a whole nother story that we could talk about another time, but it's been the vehicle for me that's allowed me to take care of my family. It's what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
It's really awesome.
So they take the DNA and they go and check. Let's say you have an ulcerative colitis.
Well, the best way for me to explain it is explain my story. So I already knew that heart disease was something that was very common in my family. So we know that there's certain types of ailments that we inherit from our family. Well, heart disease is one of them. So both of my grandfathers, they had passed away before the age of 60. And when I got my DNA report back, they test for 18 of the most common things that you need to be concerned about when it comes to your health. And they color code it. So if you didn't get anything from your parents, you get a green dot. If you got something from one parent, you get a yellow dot. If you got something from both parents, you get a red dot. Well, when I got this report back, I got 4 red dots out of the 18, which means I got it from both parents. Well, all 4 of those reds all had to do with heart health. So the test is really super accurate. And then it enabled me to get the raw plant-based nutrition that I need to really fortify that stuff and get me healthy.
Right.
I've made some lifestyle changes along the way, and I've lost quite a bit of weight. So it's been an amazing experience.
Yeah,
it's been great.
That sounds amazing. So do you have that on a website so somebody can contact you about that? Or
yeah, I have information. The best place to go look is teamu.biz. That's the best place to go check it out.
Team just the letter U.
Yeah, teamu.biz. You can go check it out there. My mentor, Michael Zappia, he's on there. There's a brief overview and lots of science and product information that's on there.
We all know that nature provides pretty much everything for us.
Right, exactly.
And just like medication, you shouldn't mix certain medications. The same thing goes with food, right? Or supplements and stuff. So they kind of match everything that goes together for that.
Right, exactly. They're also going to have a platform where they can figure out recipes and the certain types of foods that you should be eating specifically.
Perfect.
Certain types of workouts that you should be doing. Like some people shouldn't be doing high intensity workouts because of their joints or their heart or whatever, for whatever the reason. I'm not a scientist or geneticist or trainer or nutritionist or any of that, but that's what's really cool about the technology is you don't even have to know any of that stuff. They just say, here, take this, and you don't have to, it takes the guesswork out of what you should.
Yeah, and they give you all the ingredients and everything. So you're not taking just, here, take this out. They give you the breakdown of what all the ingredients are.
Yeah, every ingredient that they put in the formula has scientific peer-reviewed documents proving that this ingredient has been known to help with this genetic defect.
Right. Perfect.
Yeah.
And they can also reach you at livemasters.com.
Yeah, livemasters.com or just hashtag
livemasterstv.com.
livemasterstv.com. And then if you hashtag livemasters anywhere on Facebook, all my videos will pop up.
Please do that. Hashtag livemasters.
Yeah, you need a hashtag for you need to come up with some hashtags too, a couple.
Yeah. My husband told me that yesterday.
Yeah, you do.
Because I got my
there's a couple things you and I will talk about later.
Yes. And you're also going to teach me how to do this Zoom thing to stream live on my Facebook and my YouTube and everything, because I didn't even know that. So
so you'll be able to have a simulcast. You'll be able to stream this, and then the podcast will be the podcast too.
See?
Yeah. Awesome.
Reach out. Live Masters TV or hashtag Live Masters. Reach out to Mike. He's gonna help you out. Thanks.
Definitely.
It's been great. And well, we're gonna speak again. We'll see each other. But to my listeners, make sure you reach out to him. Make sure you go hear what he has to say. He's going to teach you a bunch of stuff. All right? As for me, this is Kim. This is your city. Don't forget to share, like, follow, click, phone somebody, send a pigeon, whatever it is. Make sure you tell them they should be listening to This Is Your City. Be safe. Ciao.